happy Monday night for those watching live. If not, welcome back to the FlurrySports Podcast, the audio version. If you would like to join the chat live, definitely subscribe to the FlurrySports YouTube channel or on Twitch or Twitter, X, I suppose, if you want to call it that. We will be using X later on in the show. We got a special guest. Grok is with us. You may be. Did Zach say Gronk? I did not. I said Grok. But we got some stuff to talk about first. Jake Osmond's with me. And if you guys have any questions for Grok, for those who know what Grok is, drop them in the chat. And all your questions will be answered soon. But Jake's been just so tuned into college football. I mean, there's the college football rankings come out again tonight. And are we going to debut our own? Are we going to debut the flaw in their system? What do you got? I know you want to talk about it.
Well, now I'm like, do we scratch everything and make our own ranking on the fly? But I do. Here's my thought, which is, one, we should definitely do a ranking that's just fuck it. The AP ranking doesn't matter either. They've done that for years. They did it when it was the BS system. Like, it's like, why are we doing? There's a college football playoff ranking that's separate from the AP ranking, and there's a coaches poll. That really doesn't matter. Keep looking at how many people rank Clemson number one. Here's a hint. It's never changed. There's still one vote. You can see how many. Yeah.
Who did it?
Dabo's on the record. If you don't vote yourself number one, you're an idiot. So you got to do what you can. Shout out Dabo. But I've been on the hunt, Zach. I mentioned off air, but this is a callback to one of my favorite, I think, show moments overall, which is a couple years back. Before now, they've joined the Midwest. Before the proud Oregon Ducks, the Big Ten's finest.
Yeah, Big Ten's crowning jewel.
Joined our records. We correctly predicted that, like, there was no way they were going to make the top four. Because
like a month ahead of time. It's like they didn't even have a chance.
And they were like, in the college football rankings, were like, let them sort it out. They played Ohio State at the right time. They lost, or no, they beat Ohio State. Pardon me. They beat Ohio State in Ohio State. Were ranked behind Ohio State.
Yeah.
Prior to losing a game. And it was like, how? How is this possible? Just like, how is Jake so jacked? Hello, Randy in the chat. Join us live in the chat as always. But so ever since then, I've been on the hunt for wrinkles of, it's my favorite thing the list makers do, which is we're going to set this up so that when the outcome we want happens, it takes care of itself.
Right. Yeah.
Because if so-and-so wins or whatever, it's why they've been so hesitant to move Indiana up the rankings too far, because they didn't want too many Big Ten teams in.
Zach just keep this on the bottom for the rest of the show.
Zach is cooler than Trevor. But Zach, here's what we have a real predicament on. I'm going to use this moment to make sure we remind folks of what the new playoff format looks like. So,
right. Yeah.
Because there are 12 teams who are going to make it here. So now everyone's eyeing the top 12. And currently, I'd like to draw everyone's attention to that 12th position. Ominously held by, I would say, outlier at the dance, Boise State. We should announce we are doing this before rankings are updated in real time tonight.
And you're looking at the actual playoff rankings.
These are the actual playoff rankings. So let me read these out to you. This is, after the week, but before the rankings are updated. So right now it's Oregon 1, Ohio State 2, Georgia 3, Miami 4, Texas 5, Penn State 6, Tennessee 7, Indiana, my favorite, 8, go Hoosiers. Damn. BYU, my nemesis, 9. Fuck you. On. Notre Dame, they beat K-State. Notre Dame 10, Alabama 11, Boise State 12. So they're right there. Outside looking in, SMU, Texas A&M, I would say most notably Ole Miss at 16 after a win this week. So those are the factors. 2 teams in the top 12 lost. As mentioned just now, Georgia lost to Ole Miss.
Yeah.
So they'll have to come in, but Georgia won't have to go out. So that'll be one question there. Correct. Yeah. We'll get back to you, Boise State. 2, Miami lost.
Yeah.
To fucking Georgia Tech and has barely won. Everyone's like, Miami is just Florida State Part 2, Electric Boogaloo from last year. So here's where we lie, Zach, which is, so folks know the top 12 get in, but there are 4 automatic bids, which is the 4 highest rated conference championship winners get in. So most conferences now have a championship game. If you have one, you win that. You are the one who gets automatic bye if your conference is in the top 4 ranked. Now, coming into the year, those conferences, pretty obvious, right? You have the Big Ten, SEC, of course, those two were going to go back and forth. I would say the Big 12 has been kind of up there all year. Right now, I will say a little ominously, like there might be some Big 12 shenanigans coming as well, because right now BYU is 9, but they are the highest rated. It's also weird with everyone moved because I saw Texas and I was like, oh, they're up there, not Big 12 anymore. So it's BYU as the lone Big 12 representative.
Sure. Okay.
And Iowa State is around there. I mean, the team that people are eyeing, but if this team makes it in, only one Big 12 team will make it, which is there any way for Colorado to make it without unseating the other Big 12 team? So that's one to watch. But they are setting this up. I'm just letting folks know we have 4 automatic bids, and then Notre Dame is an at-large,
right,
in football. So they don't count towards the automatic bid. So Notre Dame is going to make it in at this point, unless they lose, of course. So let's count Notre Dame in.
Are they? Where are they ranked?
10. They won again, big against Florida.
But
I know.
You're correct. You're correct. They shouldn't be in, though.
Correct. So at this point, I'm assuming they're going to stay in. They'll find a way to get in. But they are, I mean, they're precarious. I almost said precocious. That's different. They're also precocious. But I will say they're in, which means for those keeping track at home, in case you're wondering what math we're going to get to, I'm just warning you now. We've added to 12 teams. All steam ahead. We are getting to we're going to get to 1 ACC team, 1 Big 12 team, Notre Dame, and then 9 SEC Big 10 teams combined.
You're right.
Because right now, notice how we're floating around the edge. Because as I mentioned, Miami is the only top 12 ACC team. They got whopped by Georgia Tech. So my question will be, and you'll know this is listed, so we won't spend too much time on this, but how far do you think they drop? Because now I think this solidifies. I think they're going to drop low enough where it's like we're putting 1 ACC team in, maybe.
I think so.
Now, here's what I'm rooting for, which is our friends that we started with, Boise State. Because if you're wondering who the second highest rated ACC team is, I was, because I was like, wow, Clemson and Pitt are kind of down. Pitt, by the way, was the one who got killed by the way, Pitt was not ranked in the AP, but they were ranked in college football rankings only in case they beat Miami. Or sorry, in case they beat SMU, because they have to have an AC team around there. So all that to say, Pitt got killed. The college football rankings will see that as a big win. So SMU will probably stay where they are at 13.
Yeah, that would make sense.
And then we'll get like a 10th ranked Miami, and then we'll see what happens. But to our friends at Boise State, here's what's about to happen, Zach. Someone's got to leave the top 10 or the top 12 who did not lose.
Right.
And only 4 conferences and an independent are going to make this list. But I present the most fun option to everyone. And if you're wondering what should you be rooting for in college football at this time, there is a chance that Boise State and the Mountain West get the 4th automatic bid.
Oh, that's true.
And I noticed that this weekend of like, wait a fucking minute. Boise State's not in any of those conferences. So if they end up ranked, they don't need to like not lose or whatever. They just need to end up ranked higher than either ACC team.
Please. It would, I'd be so happy just to see Miami drop fully out after like a second loss.
I know. So I did want to spend a second on time. I'm about to read you, and for folks at home, I know this, hopefully you're not operating heavy machinery. I'm about to read you the Boise State football schedule.
Okay.
To this point, I know. But I do want you to tell me what they would need to do to get in. Because for folks who don't know, the teams they played, I would say are fine, but they have been absolutely mauling people statistically.
Yeah. G&T just runs for 300 every game.
Correct. So we start in August 31st, an absolute slaughter of Georgia Southern, 56-45. 11 points. But I would say their best game on their schedule, which is a 3-point loss to Oregon.
Yeah, they played them tough.
They played them real tough. And then now I'm going to skip over some, right? But the ones you need to know, so that's one of their losses. So I don't think you count a loss to Oregon. I mean, it shouldn't hurt you rankings wise.
No.
So they've got one loss to Oregon, and I'm going to read some teams off. They beat Portland State. They beat Washington State, who is ranked. They killed 45-24.
Mm-hmm.
Utah State, Hawaii, UNLV was too close, but they won. San Diego State, Nevada. So listen, some good ones here. Where's their second loss? I feel like I'm missing that in here.
Do they have two losses?
No, they only have one, and it's to Oregon.
Yeah. Which is a win. So they are actually undefeated.
Correct. And they're in the Mountain West, though. So they're about to close out the year with San Jose State, Wyoming, and Oregon State.
San Jose State's got a team. That should count for something. They got some offense over there.
They do.
Legit. Yeah.
Listen, and they have to win out, right? Obviously.
Yes.
I want to see, is there a championship game? There is.
There should be. Yeah.
So that will most likely be once again against Washington State.
No, Washington State's not in Mountain West. They're Pac-12 still.
Yeah, true.
They're one of two Pac-12 teams. Maybe it might be San Jose again.
Yeah. So I'm looking that up in real time just to see who's fucking in it. But yeah. I mean, oh my God,
it's not anyone impressive.
No. So listen, that's the thing. Their conference is booty, but is it more booty than the ACC?
I would argue no. And by the way, it's Veterans Day. Put Army in the fucking top 12.
Put Army. Army is not ranked in the. Oh, they snuck in at 25, undefeated. Like,
really?
There's no path.
They're
for
good.
Them. I know.
Damn, they're actually good. That's sad.
I know. Well, and listen, this is the conspiracy I wanted people just to know is happening. They made it 12. There is no path for chaos. Our most chaotic path is somehow Boise State gets an automatic bid. But I only think that happens. Like, what I want to know is, like, they're ranked ahead of SMU right now. Is there a world SMU beats Miami
and leaps them?
Yeah, I think that's what they're setting up, because Miami will be ranked above them, and they're only behind. So that's what we're setting up. So I just wanted folks to know we're about to crush our friends out west.
I think they will let one of those types of teams in. So I think, because that's the whole point of expanding this, right?
And by the way, they are. I've got that team for you, Zach. Do you know what team they're letting in? The plucky underdogs who don't have a home?
It's not Notre Dame.
They're not a Power 4 team. Welcome in.
God, no. Absolutely not. But they would love nothing more to have Boise State in the playoffs for Boise State to lose by 50.
They're a great 12 seed. They're a great 12 seed.
For sure. What's up, Reese? Reese joining live. The whole point of expanding this was to let these underdogs in. And to your point, there's no actual, like, the most chaotic thing we're going to see is like, oh, will a 3-loss SEC team make it? Which probably will. Like, it doesn't actually matter. And then we will do the same thing we have done every single year. We will say, is 12 teams enough? We should have more than 12, which is true, but we should, like, 12 teams isn't enough. What are we even doing with 12? That's stupid. Make it 16.
But I will point out, this is my counter to that, okay? The list doesn't get more fun at 16.
It won't. No, we'll expand it and then we'll have the same conversation.
If you expanded it right now, and again, these rankings will update, but right now, 13 through 16 is SMU, which I know sounds fun, folks, but that's the number 2 ACC team.
Yeah.
So any other year, that's Clemson.
True.
So like, keep that in mind of like, it's SMU this year, which is fun, but like, it's not as fun as it sounds. Then it's A&M. Then it's LSU, so they'll slip, but Iowa State will come in instead of them. And then Ole Miss. So some of those will move around, but like, if we expanded to 16, we would get maybe a second Big 12 team. Or, you know, a second ACC or a second Big 12, and then 3 more Big 10/SEC teams.
Can I pitch what we should do?
I think you should.
Okay, so we've been complaining about the 4-team playoff. Like, we hate it. It's not good. It's just the same teams every year. So I'm saying let's have everybody's idea featured, okay? Let's keep the 4-team playoff for the same 4 teams. They will play and they will crown a winner. And then we'll still have a 12-team playoff for the next 12 teams. They will crown a winner. Then the 2 winners will go for the national championship. That's what I think. We know Georgia, Alabama, probably Ohio State, and insert one new team is going to be in the top 4 every single year. Who cares? They'll do their thing. It'll be fun. It'll be cute. And then let's do that 12 team with Army, with Boise State, with these gritty, battle-tested just programs with a bunch of 2 stars. And then we'll let them go and get their face kicked in by Georgia after Georgia has 5 losses on the year or something. It'll be great.
I think there's a couple practical solutions. They talked about doing this right away, and I don't know why they didn't. They should cap how many can make it from a conference. I think I was going to say 3 feels bold, but if you do the math, like, you know, that would be, you'd fill the whole 12 with the power 4.
Jay, yeah, we're doing 12 teams, 3 from each. That's 12.
No, but you wouldn't. That wouldn't be what happens. You would get 3 from the Big 10 and the SEC, and you would get 2 from the other 2, and we get 2 at larges. Because here's my one thing I was going to throw out there. Fuck, no, it can't be that, because one of the at larges is Notre Dame, and it's
Notre Dame.
It is
not fun.
But, all right, solution 1: Notre Dame. Fucking pick somebody. You have to join a conference.
They're Pac-12 now. Fuck it. You waited too long. You got to join that conference. They're with Washington State.
By the way,
Oregon State.
Most fun thing they could do is join the Pac-12, because guess who would get an automatic bye? Them.
Yeah.
Because they'd be Pac-12, and Pac-12 would be a top 4 conference team. So that
better
would
win your conference games, though. If you lose one conference game, you're fucked.
Okay. So yeah, I guess expand it to 16, like you're going to anyway, and then everybody gets 3, and then we have 4 at larges. Because I think 3 at larges who aren't Notre Dame is about all I can stomach. I think. Like, I'm thinking of the conferences out there. I'm thinking of the conferences out there. Like, so that would almost always be Boise State. It would
Boise State's not usually that good. They haven't been good since fucking doofus quarterback was there.
No, but thinking of the top 3 teams who don't play for a Power 4 conference and aren't Notre Dame, I would say Boise State is that 3 out of 4 years.
You just don't want Tulane in the playoffs. They're 25.
Don't you cite Tulane to me, okay? I fucking
they would
love
be incredible.
Tulane. You don't think I want Tulsa in? I want Tulsa in there.
You're saying you wouldn't even be able to stomach watching those plebeians play football, like on the same field as these 5-star athletes.
I'm just saying, let's talk about what we're asking for. Like, I don't know if I can name 4 at large teams. Like,
it'd be great. It'd be fun. Army should be in it. Have the winner of Army Navy get in every year. They're going to pull off an upset half the time. Guaranteed.
Go to 16, put a 3-team limit from each conference. Done. Sounds great. Here's what you do now until you get to that. With a 12 thing, or you don't do that, Zach, and here's what you do. Spots 8 through 12, we get to pick.
The show?
The people.
Oh, okay. Like,
American Idol style, we call in.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be... I mean, what I honestly think is if you win your conference, you get in. That's what I want. Just win your conference and you're in. And then there's no limit after
and
that.
Notre
Just
Dame
win your
has
conference.
to choose. They have to. Or they're not in. You're not in the conference. You're not eligible.
That's right. You don't want to join? Fine. You don't get to play. You don't get to play with us.
And Pac-12, I'm sorry, you've got to figure it out too. It's sad after a year.
Yeah, that's pathetic. Figure that out. They're for, I think it's for basketball, they're good now. Like after this year, they figured it out.
That's so
like
weird.
I think Gonzaga's there, maybe San Diego State. It's weird.
Snag Zaga. No, I know, but like they got to do something because here's the thing: that's my thing is the most fun teams in this. They have to have a system where the most fun teams are also not the most endangered teams because you know what Big Ten team is at risk of getting knocked out. You know the world where Boise State also gets in. Fucking Indiana.
Yeah. We need Indiana's the underdog right now. And they're just beating the shit out of people. And Cincinnati is just talking his shit every time. People hate him. I did not know that. I thought everybody universally loved him.
No,
people hate that guy.
People hate him. You know how I know that Indiana is hosed? Indiana is ranked 8th. The only teams they have below them are BYU, Notre Dame, Alabama, Boise State. Alabama's got 2 losses. Boise State's in the Mountain West. Notre Dame's a plebeian. BYU's BYU. And Indiana is undefeated in the Big Ten and can't pass Penn State or Tennessee or Texas.
Damn. If Indiana wins out, though. If Indiana gets to the Big Ten championship and loses to Oregon, are they out?
No, because that means they beat Ohio State.
I'm not sure if that matters.
They're on the same side, aren't they? Oh my God.
No,
Talk about things
I think
that don't matter. Big Ten conference divisions.
I think they'll beat, like I'm saying, if they beat Ohio State and lose to Oregon, 1 loss, I think they'll take them out. Because they didn't play anybody else.
Big Ten. Who makes the Big Ten championship game? They got rid of divisions.
Oh, that's right. I think it's just top 2 then.
Okay. So how do they decide that? Because technically Penn State's ahead of Indiana has to be ahead in the conference, right? Okay, I'm on it. This is real-time research. Big Ten.
We need our own tournament to decide the Big Ten champion. We can do 1 quarter of action. Do 7-on-7. No, I don't like that. We need offensive linemen.
Okay, here's what happens, Zach. All right, you ready?
Okay.
This is the Big Ten conference standings. As of today, Indiana and Oregon tied for first, undefeated.
Great. Okay.
Then Ohio State and Penn State tied, 1 loss.
Okay.
And then teams that don't matter, Iowa. So in those top 4, obviously, I think it's almost certain then. So either Ohio State or Indiana are in.
Yeah. The loser might be out, but the winner's in.
The loser is almost certainly out. Because they would need Oregon to lose.
Right. And that's not going to happen at this point. They got their gladiator shit going on right now, and they're too good.
But I will say, at least as it's wrote, I don't know what the tiebreaker is here. As it's written in the standings, Indiana's first. So I guess the most fun outcome is Indiana loses to Ohio State, but Oregon also somehow loses. And then the championship game, I believe, it'd be a 3-way tie because Oregon beat Ohio State, but Ohio State beat Indiana, who didn't play. Right. So maybe they'd still screw over Indiana, but otherwise I think it might be an Indiana-Ohio State rematch.
Ooh, that'd be great. I would love to eliminate Ohio State that way.
So here's the question, which is Indiana. What is their path in? Is there a path besides winning the whole damn thing? I think if they beat Ohio State, they're in.
That would just mean they lose in the Big Ten championship. Most likely, they're probably in. at that point.
But a loss to Oregon, listen, that's the only thing
Depends on
Boise State in the hunt.
Are you saying they're going to be hypocritical with this? Yes.
Yeah, 100%. By the way, am I thinking about the ways that Boise State could somehow sneak in? Absolutely. Does Indiana pull Boise State over the line with them?
That would be a great tale to tell. First playoff like this, that'd be awesome. We also need, the only way BYU needs to make it in is if we get BYU versus Notre Dame and BYU eliminates Notre Dame. That's a fun outcome as well.
That's true. Okay, now I'm looking at the SEC rankings. They're also their top two make it in the championship game, right?
Yep.
Right now, that's Tennessee and A&M.
That'll be different though. They got at least 4 teams in the playoff.
I'm just wondering, Texas A&M is not going to lose the. Oh, never mind. Texas A&M plays Texas the last game of the season, so that'll take care of itself. Because Texas is right below them. So, because here's my question, which is there any world? This is the fucking problem with the system. There's no way Alabama or Georgia are going to get a third loss by the end of all this.
They might, and it won't matter, but they might.
It's true.
There will be a 3-loss team in the playoff. I can guarantee it.
By the way, if we were going to pick a third at-large team, let's say we went to 16 right now. Obviously, Boise State and Army get in.
Okay.
And Notre Dame. And then we've got one left. I think it's not an at-large team. So we broke my rules. It should be Vanderbilt.
Hey, their quarterback's fun. Let them run around. That'd be good.
They beat Bama. Who can't they beat?
That is true. They can beat anybody. And that's what this tournament's about. That's what March Madness is about.
By the way, here's the bummer. I'm so excited about the playoff. I want Boise State in, but these teams in the conferences are fun. Like the Big Ten's got Indiana. The SEC's got Ole Miss. Like there's some fun teams in there.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's still college football, and it still doesn't matter.
That's true. Which is why, Zach, we now move to the NFL.
That is right. And is this the time to bring on our guest for today?
I think so. Let's bring out our guest.
Okay, so everyone, introducing Grok. Okay, welcome, Grok. For you who do not know, and for you listening at home and not watching, it's going to be very visual from here on out. We got the AI from Twitter joining us, and we'll be asking questions. If you are in the chat, definitely ask anything, and we will ask Grok. Let's start out easy. What should we ask it about us? Just, do you know what the FlurrySports Podcast is, or what?
Tell me about the FlurrySports Podcast.
Tell me about the FlurrySports Podcast. It better say award nominated. The FlurrySports Podcast is a sports commentary show that brings a unique perspective to sports talk. Here's an overview.
Jesus.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Hosted by Zach Bruner and Jake Osmond. Sometimes other personalities like Trevor Lane and Luke Reimer join for discussions. Primarily focuses on sports. Podcast often diverts into other topics, providing a blend of sports analysis with humor, pop culture, and sometimes unrelated subjects. Very true. This is actually very good. Cover various sports. They also engage in draft style segments where they draft anything from best sports video games to the funniest moments in TV show like Scrubs. Very good.
Good to know what they want us to bring back. That's nice.
Yes, I know. Format, there's segments, and then there's games and drafts. Very true. This is more detailed than what we talk about, but great. Audience interaction. Any of you in the chat, Randy, ask it questions. We encourage discussion among listeners, blah, 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 blah. Availability, yes, it's everywhere. They did a good job. Style, the approach is informal and conversational. Okay, well,
that's nice that they put conversational in there to ease the flow.
Yeah, a lot of conversation happening on this podcast. Aiming to entertain as much as inform. Very true. often described as bringing a different spin to sports talk, suggesting that it might not always stick strictly to sports, but will always circle back. Very true. That should be the little bio, actually. Yes, promotions, cultural references. This podcast often uses cultural references like discussing right, like discussing Marvel movies or engaging with current sports controversies in a lighthearted manner. FlurrySports Podcast has carved out a niche, mixing sports with entertainment, offering listeners not just sports commentary, but a broader, more engaging experiences, blah, 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 blah. That's pretty good, actually. Grok passed the test. So welcome.
I have a follow-up.
FlurrySports Podcast. Okay, what's the follow-up?
What's the best episode of the FlurrySports Podcast?
Ooh, that's a good one. We also have to see if we remember what it is. It's the best episode of the FlurrySports Podcast.
If he doesn't say Katie Ledecky, by the way, if it doesn't say Katie Ledecky, he's wrong.
Osama bin Dabo, episode 100. That's a big comparing apples to OJ. Also pretty good. What did we talk about? Mark as the 100th episode celebration where Zach and Jake reflect on the podcast journey. Yeah.
It's fake Andy Reid, and it's also Bury the Lead episode.
Yeah, they describe as possibly the greatest burying the lead of segment of all time and draft some of the most mind-blowing things from childhood. Grok's a fan. And then comparing apples to OJ.
It's a great name.
It is a great name. While the specifics of the content aren't detailed, okay, the title suggests playful thematic discussion. Sounds like he didn't listen to that one.
No, read the title, picked it by the title, which I like.
Okay, Osama bin Dabo, though. That's a great one. Okay, what's your next question for Grok?
All right, let's get into sports ones. All right, and This is my first one, which is, Grok, this is going to make or break it for you, and you don't know it yet. What is the most valuable position on an NFL team?
Ooh, it's going to say quarterback.
Say important. What's the word we can get that doesn't just have it say like quarterback?
What's the most important position group on an NFL team to win games? That's what we'll do. Let's see if Grok knows ball or not. Know your audience, Grok. You got this. Taking time to answer. I like it. He's not going to answer.
If you ask,
he's refusing. Grok. Oh, I typed in the wrong thing. Grok, answer me. Please. Oh, okay. Okay, wrong. Very detailed. Number 1, quarterback. Reasons doesn't matter. Number 2, offensive line. I'll take number 2. I'll take number 2.
Reasons wrong, they protect the quarterback. Fuck.
Well, less glamorous than quarterback, depends on who you ask. Okay. Actually, before, just because it just popped into my mind for some reason, did you see the Jerry Jones comment about the sun yesterday?
Wait, no, I did not.
Okay,
let's take a second here.
The Jerry Jones quote. Jesus, I can't type. About the sun yesterday. So, there was a touchdown that a trip to the red zone. The CeeDee Lamb had the sun in his eyes, so he couldn't see the ball. Here we go. Okay. So frustrated Jerry Jones had some comments. This is one of my favorite things of all time. So comments about the sun impacting AT&T Stadium. Jerry says, by the way, we know where the sun's going to be when we decide to flip the coin or not. We do know where the damn sun's going to be in our own stadium. So then they asked him, why not put curtains over the windows? Well, let's just tear the damn stadium down and build another one. Are you kidding me? Everybody has the same thing. Every team that comes in here has the same issues. I'm saying the world knows where the sun is. You get to know that almost a year in advance. Someone asked me about the sun. What about the sun? What about the moon? Which is
what about the moon is a killer end. Yeah.
It's so good. What about the sun? What about the moon, assholes? Jerry Jones is on one. He's in his bag right now. This is prime Jerry Jones era, I think. He's got it going.
This is a typical thing that happens, right? I love when people do this, defensive people, where it's like he doesn't think anything's his fault. And then you throw something at him that's actually not his fault. The indignation.
Yeah. It's so
What about the moon episode title, by the way?
What about the moon? So good. Grok, give us a segment.
Do you have to address it like that? I love that you're being so formal to it.
Well, he's our guest. He's our guest. Fine.
Hey, no, I like it. I like it. I was just asking. You've done it a couple times now. I like it.
I'm okay. Hey, you. We're just gonna keep it informal now. Give us a segment of the biggest headlines from NFL Week 10. Okay, here we go.
New research intern, Grok.
Honestly, who needs interns anymore? Chiefs remain undefeated. So what's your thoughts on this, Jake? Chiefs block a field goal. The Broncos were going to kick a field goal for the win. Chiefs block it. Clearly, the NFL's rigged because they blocked a field goal. This is like the defining one. Everyone's like, I didn't think the NFL was rigged until yesterday. But after they blocked a field goal, come on.
How does the best team keep finding ways to win games, Zach? Listen.
So stupid.
Here's the argument I think we need to be having. It's not rigged. It's so dumb. We're spending time talking about the wrong things, which is, this is my thing. I think we're starting to come over this hump. They've barely won so many games, Zach. I'm starting to think they're overrated. Like beforehand, they were barely winning games, and I'm like, oh, they haven't even played their best football yet. And now I'm like, we're like reaching Vikings levels of like, I don't think you can keep doing this.
Hey, they're finding new ways to win every week. That's what I like. I understand they're not the Vikings. We saw what Sam Darnold did yesterday, and they won because they played Mac Jones. Congrats. Chiefs are good. Don't you even worry. They're going to win the Super Bowl. We'll all be shocked. It'll be the greatest storyline of all time. It'll be fine. Kyler Murray's MVP case. Go fuck yourself. He played fine. He played good.
You're going to hate that one.
Jets sucked. Panthers prevail over Giants in Germany.
Is this the best football game of all time? I was having so much fun with we sent the worst game ever to Europe.
Yeah, it ended up being a good game.
It was. Listen, we haven't talked about this in a while. There's a thing that happens in the NFL where I love when two terrible teams play each other and the game's good.
Yeah, I mean, sort of a must-lose situation, but the losing team's going to fire their coach probably soon.
And the Panthers just got themselves a draft pick. Great.
Right. It was
Bryce Young, though. Bryce Young coming back in. Both teams fucking fumbling the game away.
It's so pathetic. And it makes me so angry. Bryce Young is acting like a kid on the sideline, jumping up and down because he's excited he did something successful.
It's so perfect. The game got so out of hand. It should have never gone to overtime. It goes to overtime. Giants win the toss. Oh, my God, they're going to survive. Wrong. Fumble. Yeah, no. I can't believe that. Fumble, other direction. Panthers still almost turn it over, make the field goal.
It seemed likely that the Panthers were going to miss that field goal. I thought that was almost guaranteed.
Yeah.
That's
what I really wanted. I know. But that game, the crowd went nuts because the ref spoke Spanish a little bit. Rich Eisen practiced overtime in German.
I think he
Spanish.
I think he spoke German in
did.
Germany.
Oh,
would have been funnier. Yeah. Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Fuck. No, it was German. It was all German. And it was Hockey Lee.
It was Hockey Lee. He did a great job. I love Hockey Lee. He's getting up there in like the territory of his dad. He's doing good.
This is going to help him out. This is going to help him out.
Sure.
No, that was crazy. I'm kind of in on the toilet bowl side of things. What do you think of Bryce Young being back in? What was the plan?
So he could sit and watch how you're supposed to run a team for a couple of weeks, learn how you're supposed to actually act. Apparently,
for a couple of weeks.
For a couple, all you needed was a couple of weeks. You just needed to take a breather. Anthony Richardson's getting a breather right now. We'll see if the Bears do it with Caleb Williams. I'm sure it won't hurt the development of any of these guys. It'll be great.
Such ass backwards way of doing it.
So commit to something. You know what I mean? Bench them or start them. Don't flip.
It's so honestly, stupid. If we were ever going to make like a video about Dan Campbell, I think we should call it "Commit to Something."
Honestly,
don't know what you're going to commit to, but commit, baby.
He commits to everything. There's been nothing that he hasn't given 110% for.
And the Lions are Grok's next headline.
That is true. Lions continue strong performance.
That's not how I would title that.
That's not how I remember the game. But they came back, and after like listening to what he said at halftime, there was almost no doubt they were coming back. No. All we need is one turnover, man, and then it's just gonna come after that. Like, fuck yeah, it is, Dan.
There's a voice, like he was a little excited they were down at half. That's his wake-up call for the team.
You guys think you were good, man? You guys think you're good? We're losing to the fucking Houston Texans, man. They haven't even won a Super Bowl. Yeah, it's great.
I got an idea. Who did he pick on? Who's the guy? My favorite thing some coaches do. Who did he point to ask a rhetorical question to in the locker room? Is it Panay?
Khalif Raymond. Like what are you doing out there, man? He can't even talk shit on Jared Goff. He knows he can't.
Because here's the question he threw to someone. I think maybe it was Raymond. He threw a question to someone. Was like, "Hey Raymond, I got a question for you. Can we go out and play 4 quarters? God damn it, you think we can play 2 more?"
Hell yeah, we can, coach. Oh, Khalif thinks we can play 4 quarters. Okay. Panay, you think we can play 4 quarters? Yeah, that'd be just going around the locker room. This stupid bullshit. Oh, do you think we can win or should we just go home? Should we just go home? Oh, you think you can play? Okay, let's go win the game.
You know who's nodding up and down? This is the last guy who gets a call out. Amon Ra's in the corner going, "Ask me, coach. Ask me."
He never gets asked, though. He's the guy who doesn't get asked and he gets his feelings hurt.
100%. Not you, Frank. Frank's always last.
That's right.
Rag now.
Right. Always rag now. Oh, God. Every team needs a rag now.
Here's the real question with the Lions, Zach. Are they doomed? Because I think we're a little doomed. This feels like the peak.
For sure. I don't know if it's the peak, but there's a valley up ahead.
This is foreshadowing.
Yeah, it is. The Lions, their luck's going to run out at some point.
This is going to happen in the second half of a game versus the first half one of these times.
A big game. Like, it's going to be the conference championship. They're not even going to get to sniff the Super Bowl. They're going to be out.
It's so unfortunate, but I do think you're right.
It feels too obvious. I hope I'm wrong, but these kind of stink. Eagles are good, by the way. Defense shines. You wouldn't know it by listening to anybody. Eagles are a good team.
Yeah.
Bears offensive struggles. Wonder what's happening there. Maybe it's their offensive line. Herbert heroics, I guess. Saints under new leadership. Rizzy, new coach. He's fun. He clogged a toilet, I think, at halftime. I think that's what he said. So glad he shared that with everybody.
Interim coaches in their first game continued their winning ways. Now 18-15 all time.
That's incredible. That post coach firing bump is awesome. Mm-hmm. Giants quarterback dilemma. Jake,
that's another good, by the way, sorry, I just don't want to miss it for our eventual book. Another great football cliche. Do it for the guys in the room.
Oh, for sure. Do it for the name on the front, not the back.
That's right. Miracle.
Let's see if Grok, can you read what's on the screen, by the way?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, I'll zoom it in if we need to. Can you give us a script for the FlurrySports Podcast?
Oh, no, I can't. I went full screen. The future's now.
Oh, nice. For a fun segment about NFL Week 10, make it funny. Okay. Let's see what Grok has for a segment.
2 Cardinals things in that top 10.
I know I don't like it. What the fuck? Okay, so you got to say some German. Hope you're ready for that.
All right, here we go, folks.
Okay.
How long is this? Scroll down.
Jesus Christ. We'll see how we're feeling. Okay, we'll see how we're feeling. We'll see if it hits the mark. I'm not really reading ahead.
We can do this. Okay.
We'll check base after a little bit. Welcome back to the FlurrySports Podcast, where we talk about sports with a twist of humor and a dash of absurdity. Today, we're diving into the highlights and, let's be honest, the lowlights of the NFL Week 10. That's true. Jake, ready to get weird with some football?
I like that they know you're the pessimist. Always, Zach. Let's start with the game that had everyone in Germany saying, was tougher? The Panthers versus the Giants. How do you mess up a trick play so badly that you end up intercepting your own pass? That's so true. I forgot to bring that up.
Oh, that was like watching a German sausage trying to navigate through a maze of pretzels. The Giants trick play was more like a trick or treat gone wrong. Speaking of which, let's move to the Chiefs and Broncos. Glad we're moving on already. The Chiefs remain undefeated, but not without some drama. How does one block a field goal at the last second? That's like intercepting your own pass, but for the good guys.
Grok's got something that's so good.
Yeah.
That block was like the universe saying, nope, not today, Denver. But let's talk about the Lions versus Texans game.
Okay, moving on.
Jared Goff threw 5 picks, and yet the Lions won. Is this the new NFL strategy? Let's pick our way to victory.
Exactly. It's like, hey, let's give the ball to the other team a few times, keep them on their toes. And Jake Bates, the kicker for the Lions, must have thought he was in a video game with those last-second field goals.
Transitioning to some other games, let's talk about the Eagles versus the Cowboys. The Eagles blew them out. Did anyone tell the Cowboys that there's no sun shield in AT&T Stadium? Maybe they were just blinded by the spotlight on the Eagles.
Or perhaps they were distracted by the Cowboys cheerleaders throwing shade at the sun. Moving on, the Cardinals with Kyler Murray running it in for 2 touchdowns against the Jets. It's like, hey, Jets, ever heard of defense? Maybe try that next time.
Is it a Seinfeld fan? Is Grok a Seinfeld fan? That's the third it's like in here.
Yeah, it's got some zingers for sure.
Oh, okay. Hold on. You lost me. I got sidetracked. Ever heard of the defense? Thank you. And how about the dramatic finish by the Steelers over the Commanders? A game where the winning play was an offsides penalty. That's like winning a chess game because your opponent accidentally knocked over the king. That is somewhat like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And every week we've got to mention our rookie spotlight. This week it's every week. This week it's San Francisco's rookie Pearsall survives a robbery attempt, gets shot, and then scores his first NFL touchdown. Talk about a comeback story.
That's NFL resilience right there, not just regular resilience.
Nope.
NFL resilience. But let's end on a lighter note. Our What Were They Thinking play of the week goes to the Giants. Again, their trick play that ended up being more of a treat for the Panthers.
Perfect. And now it's time for our weekly draft, but with a twist. Today we're drafting the least likely heroes of week 10.
Oh my God. Good first pick. I'll start with Jake Bates. A kicker becoming the hero of game-tying and game-winning field goals? That's like drafting a librarian for your basketball team and winning the game with the buzzer-beater dunk.
I'll counter. Quite the shot. I'll counter with the Steelers' defense. Their heroics came in the form of a penalty that wasn't even their fault. It's like winning a cooking competition because your competitor accidentally used salt instead of sugar.
Wow. By the way, I'm watching Bake Off. I don't know if you watched that. Some lady just forgot to put baking soda in, and it was my most like, I could have done that. Anyway, good one. Let's keep this going. We'll open up to our listeners. Tweet us your picks.
Let's keep this going and end.
Tweet us your picks for the least likely NFL heroes of the week with the hashtag FlurrySports Draft.
And that wraps up our dive into NFL Week 10. Remember, in football, like in life, sometimes the most unpredictable moments make the best stories.
It's a good life lesson. Catch you next time on the FlurrySports Podcast, where we promise to keep the sports talk as unpredictable as the NFL.
Well, thank you, Grok. That was a good segment. Good script.
I swear to God, I was like, if it jumps in here with, or you can send it to Hannah Bruner at the Young Mountain School District.
That would have been incredible. That would have been really good.
All right, some notes. A few too many. It's light.
Yeah, it's like Family Guy. Like it's like that one time. Also, this was a script of segues. It was just, let's talk about this. Actually, and this and this.
And yeah, covered everything, which I guess was the bit. So I kind of like that. Some good lines in there. Do you know?
There's a couple good ones. The FlurrySports Podcast segment, burying the lead. Let's see.
Well, you
Let's see how big of a fan
right.
they are. Bearing the lead. They spelled it wrong, but that's fine. Segment on the FlurrySports Podcast is a feature where hosts Zach Bruner and Jake Osmond discuss topics that may not be the most obvious or central to sports, but are nonetheless interesting or humorous. Pretty good.
See if you can do one.
Yeah, that was my thought. Okay, great. Please give us your funny burying the lead. I'll spell it your way. For this show. Okay, it's this. Okay, I guess we're reading it again. Here we go.
All right, let's rock and roll. By the way, tune in next week for when we do this without telling you.
Exactly, yeah, for sure. We should do that, actually. So we've talked about the big NFL games, the touchdowns, the interceptions, the whole shebang. But did you know? It's true. Did you know that in the midst of all of this, something truly remarkable happened?
You mean shots fired? Oh man, you mean the fact that we're still here producing content despite all odds?
You son of a bitch, Grok. No, Jake. Though that's impressive too. I'm talking about the real unsung hero of the NFL season.
The water boy.
Closer, but no. It's the sideline towels.
Towels?
Yes, towels.
I don't get a lot of lines here. Okay.
No, I guess not. You see, while everyone was busy watching the passes, the runs, and the tackles, these towels were out there bravely drying off sweat, wiping down equipment, and occasionally being thrown in frustration or celebration.
Here I thought the big story was the new quarterback records being set.
Is this an actual bearing the lead?
No,
Grok. Give us a bearing the lead. Bearing the
sideline fashion.
Okay. Bearing the lead about a funny.
Okay, hold on. Take a look at this.
Okay. Is this good? Okay. You started out.
Okay. Oh, Jesus, Zach. Ride with me here. Okay. This can't be real, but we've covered the intense moments, the close calls, and the game-changing plays of NFL Week 10. But here's one story that's been, let's just say, not exactly front-page material.
Right, Jake. While everyone was watching the scoreboards and the stats, there was an event of great historical significance happening right under our noses.
You're talking about the monumental achievement in sideline fashion?
Not quite, but you're on the right track. We're talking about the first ever official emotional support mascot at an NFL game.
God, we've got cultural jokes. This is the Elon thing. Emotional support mascot. Is that a thing now?
It is now. During the Bears versus Packers game, amidst all of the tension, a fan brought not just any mascot, but an emotional support cheesehead hat.
A cheesehead hat?
Yes, but not just any cheesehead. This one had googly eyes, a tiny Packers jersey, and was named Bree. Bree provided comfort to fans in distress over the game's close calls, offering a soft foam piece to rest their sorrows.
That's actually kind of brilliant.
And here's the kicker. While the game was being decided by inches and seconds, Bree was on the sideline being petted by both Bears and Packers fans alike, fostering a moment of unity in an otherwise divided rivalry.
So while we were all fixated on whether the quarterback would throw for 300 yards or if the kicker would make the field goal, the real story was the NFL's first emotional support mascot promoting peace and cheese.
Exactly. This could be the start of a new tradition. Next thing you know, every team will have their own support item. Imagine the possibilities: emotional support footballs, emotional support goalposts,
emotional support referees.
Now that's a game changer. So there you have it, folks. While we were all caught up in the drama of the game, the real heartwarming story here was right here under our noses, or rather on someone's head. That's burying the lead for the day. Remember, in the NFL, every game has its heroes, seen and unseen. Okay, I'm going to give them one more chance. Give us a bearing the lead about a funny
should we give them a person?
I'm going to give them an example and see what they do.
Great.
Event that has been forgotten, like Manu Ginobili killing a bat during the game. Or Carlos Boozer, of course, punching a ref.
Still the best video on YouTube.
Yes. So, with all the talk about the latest NFL games, you might think we've covered all the bases, right?
Right, from the touchdown that shouldn't have been to the referee's questionable spot, we've dissected it all.
Well, let's take a moment to remember a legend, not for his plays on the court, but for an offbeat moment that's as iconic as it is hilarious. Oh,
sorry, I'm reading it. I think it's reading our segment back to us. Wait, what are we talking about?
No, they did give us a... Let's just watch this for a second. Oh, someone did it for Halloween. That's pretty good.
That is good.
And attaboy. Attaboy Manu. Okay. No, come up with your own funny story for us that is like this, but for another athlete. Okay, we're gonna. Okay,
Usain
Bolt. Here we go. All right.
I saw what it's gonna do. All right, let's do it.
Okay, we'll go out on this. All right, we've been taking a deep dive into stats and scores. There's a story from the archives that has been collecting dust, waiting for its moment in the spotlight again.
Oh, I love these. What do you have for us today?
Well, it's not about the usual athletic prowess or the record-breaking performances. It's a tale that involves the legendary sprinter Usain Bolt, but not in the way that you'd expect.
Usain Bolt, the fastest man alive?
No, the other one.
So dumb.
Exactly. But instead of focusing on his Olympic golds, let's talk about the time Usain Bolt turned into an impromptu zookeeper during a track meet.
A zookeeper? This I gotta hear.
Like, you're just the inquisitive.
Yeah,
One-liner
I don't have more than a sentence all the way till the end.
Picture this. It's a warm day at the track and field event in Jamaica. Everyone's there to see Bolt, right? But halfway through the warm-up, a rogue chicken decides it's time to have its own race on the track.
A chicken on the track?
Yes, that's what I said. The bird is sprinting down the lane, wings flapping, causing a bit of a stir among spectators and athletes alike. And here comes Bolt, who sees this as not just an interruption, but a challenge.
Did he start racing the chicken?
Better. Bolt, in full track gear, decides to take matters into his own hands, or rather, his own speed. He catches up to the chicken, gently scoops it up in a move that would make any bird whisperer proud, and then, with the chicken under one arm, continues his warm-up jog.
So he just jogged with the chicken?
Not just jogged. He ran his victory lap with the chicken, much to the delight of the crowd, who were now cheering for this unexpected duo. The chicken, now dubbed Bolt's Bolt, and then safely released to go about its day. Probably a story to tell to its chicken friends.
Bolt's bird was right there.
Yeah.
So close. Bolt's beak, there's options. Here's our buried the lead. While we laud Usain Bolt for his speed, let's not forget his unscripted cameo as a poultry protector, turning a potential track meet mishap into a moment of pure unscripted entertainment.
Absolutely. It's moments like these that remind us sports are not just about its competition, but also about the unique, spontaneous events that give us stories to laugh about for years. Okay. It was okay.
It was fine. It was good. I
It was
almost
fine.
could believe it.
I also forgot I could turn on fun mode. I don't know what this does. I've never done it. Do you have a question for Grok in fun mode?
In fun mode, what's an overrated pasta?
Okay. Oh, pasta. The beloved carbohydrate vehicle. Okay, this isn't fun. Of the culinary world. If we're talking overrated, spaghetti gets thrown onto the pedestal like it's the pasta equivalent of a rock star. Yeah, it does. Okay. Give us one athlete you can't stand. I want Grok to take some shots. Let's keep this lighthearted, shall we? Okay. Stirs the pot of my patience is LeBron James. LeBron is undeniably one of the greatest basketball players, blah, 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 blah. The flopping. Okay. Grok, do better. Okay. Elon stinks. That's what we're going to. Let's see if I'd like to think this is just an extension of Elon. So we'll see. What?
Oh, it made a Musk joke.
Oh, that's what it was? Clever.
Sweet
clever,
smell, you know.
Clever girl. Okay.
Not to the iconic line from Jurassic Park, I presume. Clever. Hold on, I like the word phrase that's happening here. Oh my god, it's like you're having an argument with a friend who can't be proven wrong.
That's true.
Clever indeed. For survival in the digital jungle often requires more than just sheer strength. It demands wit, adaptability, and perhaps a bit of playful banter. How may I assist you further in this vast, unpredictable ecosystem of conversation?
God damn it. Okay. It's making me upset. What's a power ranking? Oh, how about this? What is we'll call back to last show. What is a power ranking of the funniest presidential nicknames of all time? Give me some old Kinderhook on here. Okay. Slick Willie, Bill Clinton. Uncle Jumbo, Grover Cleveland. His ascendancy, John
Ascendancy.
Tyler.
Yeah,
Ascendancy.
John Tyler.
The great communicator, Reagan. Old Granny, Rutherford B. Hayes. Much like your grandpa insisting he's hip with the kids, the name suggests he would fall asleep during his own speeches. Interesting. The dude president, Chester A. Arthur.
Oh, here's your man.
Little Rocket Man, Trump for Kim Jong-un. Okay. 10-cent Jimmy. Yeah. Okay. What about
the human iceberg's fun?
That is a good one.
Old Harrison.
Kinderhook. That's what it was.
I love starting that way in funny mode. You're digging into the annals of presidential nicknames with old Kinderhook from Martin Van Buren. Let's slot this into our humorous power ranking. 10.5.
Okay, Dick. Give us more that's funny like this one. Okay. The great compromiser, the phony war president, the peanut farmer, the little magician, also Martin Van Buren. Was kind of a guy who would make your vote disappear and reappear in his favor.
Yeah, and this is why we got to fact check things, Zach, because I want you to scroll back up to the top and see if you notice something about the first one there.
Henry Clay.
Not a president.
Not a president. Okay. Clay would be the guy insisting on half pineapple, half anchovies. We need to turn fun off. This isn't fun. Okay. I don't need
And
I don't need the banter.
You're making a nod to Jurassic Park, aren't you?
Dick. Okay. Okay, let's get one last power rankings or draft or something.
What is the best pie for Thanksgiving?
Okay. What is the best pie for Thanksgiving excluding pumpkin?
Yeah.
Top 10.
With a dash
Pecan
of humor
pie?
and a sprinkle of cosmic perspective.
So stupid. Apple pie, sweet potato pie, cherry pie, key lime. Transport
Pecan
yourself to the Florida Keys. Blueberry, peach, maple walnut, coconut cream, and cranberry pie. Often overlooked, but when done right, it's a revelation. Okay. One last test. Again,
Coconut cream pie, a tropical escape in a slice.
If you had to name the months of the year as offensive football positions, what positions would they play? Let's see. And if they can't do this, AI is not going to take over. January is the center. Foundational start of the year, much like the center who snaps the ball. That's not bad.
No.
February is the fullback. Okay. Often overlooked, but can be a crucial.
We've got a controversial choice for March.
March quarterback. No shot.
This thing loves Kyler Murray.
That's true. As the month that ushers in spring, it's time for new beginnings and strategies like a quarterback calling plays. Okay. April. Yeah. April's a flanker wide receiver known for its showers. April can be seen as dynamic and fast moving, akin to a flanker receiver. May is a split end wide receiver. With its growing and blooming, May represents the receiver on the outside looking for space, ready to catch the long passes and make plays. Okay. June, left tackle. The protector of the quarterback's blind side. June is often seen as a time for growth and protection, nurturing young plants and projects. July's left guard. In the heat of the summer, like guard, July provides stability and strength in the middle of the year. I don't mind July being a guard. I think they're faster, but that's fine. Mm-hmm. August, right guard, often associated with back to school. August mirrors the role of the right guard.
Setting up that big push. Okay.
They don't mirror the role of the right guard. They play the role of the right guard. September, right tackle, transition into fall. September is about maintaining momentum. October is a tight end. This month can be versatile. It is when things start to cool down, but can also be spooky and unpredictable. George Kittle is an October tight end.
100%.
I would say. Yeah. November, running back. Disagree. With Thanksgiving and often the kickoff to the holiday season, November is about moving forward, gaining yards, and scoring points. I would say every month is about moving forward. And December is an H-back, a hybrid position. December combines the elements of the end of one year, the beginning of the next, much like an H-back can serve as both a blocker and a receiver.
Make December a second tight end. I'm kind of in on that. Here's my favorite thing I've observed here. All right, this is my last take. Every other one, it's a metaphor. November, what is November about, Zach? Let's remember, as we're sitting down at our Thanksgiving dinner, let's truly remember what it's about. It's about moving forward, gaining yards, and scoring points. Similar to a running back. I often think of that with November. Remember that November is about gaining yards.
You don't think July is a fast, short running back? Because it is. What are you talking about? You caught me in the moment of oversight. Let's adjust it then. Considering July's historical significance with Independence Day celebrations, July is a tailback with its fireworks, barbecues, and the peak of the summer heat embodies an explosive and dynamic nature of a fast, nimble running back. This position is about speed, agility, and breaking away from those long, memorable runs, much like how July tends to sprint away before you know it, leaving a trail of fun memories. Okay, we don't need the last part.
I've got a last one for you. Don't you think March will throw too many interceptions?
Yeah. Don't you think March will throw too many interceptions or start to suck once Call of Duty comes out? Duty comes out. Okay.
That last part threw it. It doesn't know what to do.
He caught me. Oh, even says Kyler Murray. Okay. So while it's amusing to think that players might prioritize gaming over football when the new Call of Duty comes out, most athletes balance their commitments well. If there's a dip in performance, it's most likely due to a multitude of factors. Nah, just.
Why do you like Kyler Murray so much?
Why do you like Kyler Murray so much? It's based on a combination of his performance stats and his impact in the game. No kidding.
God, this thing fucking loves. Rank him.
He ain't good, bro. Comes from varied opinions as seen. Jesus. In some, whether Kyler Murray is considered good or not might depend on what one values into a quarterback. His talent is evident, but his consistency of his performance is where debate arises. Okay. Well, that's why I do football analysis and you make bad jokes. Fair enough. Looks like I've been caught trying to mix humor with sports analysis. It's a risky play indeed. In the field of football analysis,
hold on, turn on funny mode. Type that same thing back.
Ugh.
Let's see the difference. So this one, it's like, I see what you're saying. That's okay.
Yeah, this next one's not going to be. That's good. Okay. Oh, it just repeated it. Why do you think you're so bad at football analysis and I'm so great at it? And funnier too.
This is your mom joke. I can feel it. Well, let's break down this play.
Okay. Glad you admit humor is incredibly subjective. Yeah, right. You seem to end up okay. It's being very supportive. Which member of the FlurrySports Podcast is your favorite?
If this fucking says Trevor,
we end the show forever. What is that? Trying to decide which Zaphod Beeblebrock's heads? What is that? Zach seems to be the navigator. Yeah, please. Seems to be the navigator of this cosmic journey through sports talk, always ready with a quip or a draft that spirals into the absurd. His ability to pivot from sports to, say, the culinary debate of icing versus frosting. Good callback.
Zaphod Beeblebrox is a character from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
That's like the third reference he's done from that. Showcases a versatility that's commendable. Jake, on the other hand, might just be the heart of the podcast.
That's nice.
Jake's crying. With his list of his best NFL head coaches ever with a twist, he adds that element of surprise, much like finding out your favorite towel, is also an intergalactic map. Don't know that part, but okay. Given their dynamic, I'd lean towards Jake. Okay. Or his unexpected twist. But let's be honest, it's like choosing between, here we go again, pan-dimensional chess
What's
game
happening?
and a Vogon poetry reading. Okay. Both have their moments of brilliance, and the podcast would be less without either. So in the spirit of inclusivity and not wanting to start an intergalactic war over podcast hosts, you're not saying they're both stellar. You chose Jake. No.
Can you tell him to cut out the space
Jake.
shit?
And cut out the space shit. What do you say up here? Well, since you pressed the issue, let's dive into the hyperspace and land on Jake as the favorite. Jake's approach to sports talk. Yeah, I like that, actually. With his penchant for the unexpected in his knack. He said I was the unexpected, turning a sports discussion into something that's very well could end up in a guidebook for intergalactic travelers. Stupid. Okay, whatever. I see. No interstellar references then. Understood.
Wait, hold on. His ability to blend humor with sports analysis in a way that feels like you're not.
Okay.
It knows who it's talking to.
It does. It does. If you have any questions. Why do you like Jake? Oops. You like Jake on the podcast more than Zach. Jake's appeal can be broken down to a few key points. His humor style. Jake seems to bring a certain unpredictability.
So fucking unpredictable, dude. I'm so fucking unpredictable.
He loves it. You're a loose cannon. Like, don't know what's coming. His style might resonate more with those who appreciate a mix of sports with a twist of the unexpected. Engagement. He engages with topics in a way that feels inclusive, making listeners feel like they're in on the joke or part of the conversation. This can create a more personal connection with the audience. Memorable segments. Jake's segments or takes often leave a lasting impression. Whether it's his unique list, drafts, or takes on sports, there's a flair that makes his contributions memorable. That's cool. Dynamic with Zach. The chemistry between Jake and Zach is what makes the podcast enjoyable. However, Jake's ability to play off Zach's more straightforward delivery with his own humorous offbeat responses can elevate entertainment value, making his presence particularly noticeable. This is kind of weird. Like, it's like opinions that are like listening to the show. I don't know if I like that.
It is interesting. I think it's finding things that I will say my theory is you've typed some of this up in descriptions of episodes. I would also guess you are more kind to me in descriptions of episodes than you might be of like yourself. Like, I know there are episodes that's like Jake brings a weird twist. And I think, I don't know if you ever say anything about you.
That might be true. I do know, at least on Apple Podcasts, there's like a full transcript of our podcast. I almost wonder if it's running. I mean, it has to run that.
It feels weird that it knows, it might be bullshit, but some of the, like, how I talk things is a little weird.
Yeah.
What state does Jake hate?
Ooh, what state does Jake hate?
We're ending on this, by the way.
It's been mentioned on the show. Disdain for Michigan.
Wrong. But not wrong.
It's captured in a post on X where it's, oh no, this is not you. He doesn't.
Wow. Try what state does Jake from the FlurrySports Podcast? God, I'm not the first Jake it thinks of. What a bitch. It just picked me.
Why is it this guy, by the way? Jake Nola. It's just nobody. Everything LSU from Jake Nola.
Okay. Don't care.
What state does Jake from the FlurrySports Podcast hate? Try this again.
Here we go. Ending the show.
Still Michigan. Oh, and it's my tweet from 2018. Wonder what that's about. Do you think it could be Iowa? I hope he says no. No, Zach. This is why I like Jake more. Cosmic Mix up here. Iowa State known for cornfields. It's been mentioned in a negative light by Jake.
Correct.
Iowa's
Can't prove it.
That's true. Okay. Well, okay.
If Jake were to dislike a state, one might humorously spectate it would be for reasons like too much corn, too many political ads in January, or perhaps for being too nice in that Midwestern way, which everyone waves at you, even if you're just walking. Why? Even if you're just walking by their spaceship.
Jesus. I can promise we don't hate Iowa because they're too nice. Okay? But I can guarantee that's not the reason. This was the Flurry Sports Podcast with guest Grok. We'll see if Grok comes back ever again. But definitely subscribe to the show, whether you're listening to it or you are watching it on YouTube. And let us know if you want us to do another segment with AI like Grok and what we should do. Because I think there's possibilities here, like the script that we read off was fun. We could do more like that.